Have you ever wondered how a boy from Casablanca became one of Hollywood's most iconic actors? The story of Jean Reno, born Juan Moreno y Herrera Jimenez, is a testament to perseverance, talent, and a bit of luck. Let's dive into the extraordinary life of this legendary actor.
Jean Reno, wo sein Realname ist Juan Moreno y Herrera Jimenez.
He was born on July 30, 1948, in the Moroccan city of Casablanca. Soon after, his younger sister, Maria Teresa, was born. Their parents were Spanish immigrants who had to leave their homeland due to the rise of military dictator Francisco Franco. Juan spent the first 12 years of his life on the African continent and remembers that period as one of the happiest and most carefree times of his life. In Casablanca, the boy attended acting classes at a local conservatory and already knew that he wanted to dedicate his life to an acting career. However, his parents were skeptical about his plans, although his mother had once secretly dreamed of the stage herself. In the early 1960s, the family of the future actor moved to France, where life was difficult for stateless refugees. His mother worked as a seamstress at home, but orders were irregular, so the main breadwinner in the family was his father, who worked in a printing house. To support the family, the man had to work several shifts in a row, but even so, they lived in poverty bordering on destitution. The head of the family would come home from work exhausted and go straight to bed, demanding complete silence from his family. According to our hero, both he and his mother were afraid to accidentally wake his father, as the man could become violent in his anger. Therefore, the future actor learned to move around the house on tiptoe and speak in whispers. Juan had no toys, so he entertained himself by looking at pictures in books and watching passers-by from the window, making up stories for each one. He later said that these childhood games helped him transform into any character on screen. When the young man turned 17, his mother fell ill with cancer and soon passed away. Juan took the loss hard and still misses his mother, often speaking of her with tears in his eyes. Around the same time, he joined the army, as this was the only way he could obtain French citizenship. His father, with whom he never had a warm relationship, said only one phrase to him as a farewell: "I hope you don't end up in prison." As for Spaniards, this was considered a great disgrace. Incidentally, in addition to his native Spanish, our hero is fluent in French, Arabic, Italian, and English. Military service was a great disappointment for the future actor. His father never wrote him a single letter or sent him any packages during his service, while his fellow soldiers regularly received care packages from their families. Moreover, just before joining the army, Juan fell in love with a girl named Catherine and proposed to her, which she accepted. However, during his years of service, she never wrote to him, and when he returned, she pretended not to know him. After his discharge, Moreno decided to pursue a career in theater and cinema. He enrolled in acting classes at the renowned René Simon studio in Paris and later even founded a small theater company with his friend Didier Flamand. The company produced plays but did not generate any income, so in his free time from rehearsals, Juan took on any job he could find, selling records in a music store, working as a taxi driver, a mover, a customs officer, and even an accountant. However, his earnings remained modest. He never made more than $10 a day. In 1974, the young man made his first appearance in television productions and later debuted on the theater stage. At that time, he began thinking about adopting a stage name. Initially, Juan decided to pass himself off as an American. He grew his hair long, wore black glasses, and called himself Jonathan Bran. Under this pseudonym, Moreno actively attended castings, but directors paid no attention to him. He then decided to translate his name Juan into French, shorten his surname, and thus became Jean Reno. In 1977, the actor married for the first time. His chosen partner was Genevieve, a girl he had met while studying acting. The following year, his wife gave birth to their daughter Sandra, and 2 years later, their son Mikhail. In the future, his daughter followed in her father's footsteps and built an acting career using her real surname Moreno. His son, on the other hand, inherited his grandfather Jean's talent for singing and is an excellent vocalist. In 1978, Reno appeared in his first feature film, Hypothesis of a Stolen Painting, playing a minor role. According to some sources, he earned about $100 for his film debut. He then appeared in films such as The Color of a Woman, Do You Want a Wunderkind, and Airmail and Courier Delivery. At the same time, he performed on the theater stage, but his artistic endeavors during this period brought him neither popularity nor significant fees. The year 1981 was significant for him when he was offered a minor role in the comedy Les Grandes Maneuvers, where he met Luc Besson, then an assistant director, who played an important role in developing his career. That same year, Besson offered Reno a role in his first project, the short film The Last Battle, which 2 years later was transformed into a feature-length film of the same name. A strong friendship developed between the two filmmakers at that time. However, the film's budget was minimal, so Jean received only 500 francs for his role, equivalent to about 80 euros in today's currency. Meanwhile, our hero's filmography expanded with other films, the most notable of which were Passers-by of Sans Souci, The Heights of Bliss, and Our Story. During this period, due to his tall stature and rugged appearance, Jean often played various tough guys and villains. In 1985, the actor appeared in the TV series Tender is the Night, and in the films Strictly Personal, The Telephone Always Rings Twice, and Luc Besson's Subway. The latter film brought fame to both Besson and Reno, even though Jean played a secondary role as a drummer. After this, Jean starred in films such as I Love You, Red Zone, Tomorrow Comes, and The Big Blue, another collaboration between Reno and Besson. In the film, the actor played a diver Enzo, who risked his life for a championship title and to defeat his friend. The shoot was challenging for Reno. He worked without a stunt double and performed up to 15 dives per day. Once, he even nearly drowned. According to the director's vision, the man was supposed to dive into the water and slowly sink to the bottom. Despite training with experienced divers, Reno unexpectedly panicked, tore off his mask, and began to drown. Only the thought of his family gave him the strength to escape the water. The shot turned out well, but Besson still criticized Jean for forgetting to smile. The role of the diver brought our hero worldwide fame and a nomination for the César, France's top film award. While his career was flourishing, his personal life hit a rough patch. His wife, Jean, filed for divorce, as Reno was rarely home during their marriage, and their children grew up without his involvement. Jean was naturally unhappy with this situation. She often said she didn't want to be married to a ghost, and when the topic of filming The Big Blue came up, she gave Jean an ultimatum: family or career. He chose the latter. In 1990, the actor starred in the thriller Nikita as a professional killer, a role that became his trademark for many years. Since then, many have considered Reno the best screen killer. His filmography then expanded with films such as Operation Corned Beef, The Man in the Golden Mask, Lulu Graffiti, Fugitive Justice, Paranoia, and The Visitors. In the latter, he played Count Godfrey, marking perhaps his first comedic role. He was delighted, as he had mostly played negative characters and feared being typecast. The film was well received by audiences, and Jean was nominated for a César. In 1994, Reno voiced Mufasa in the French version of The Lion King, and starred in the psychological thriller Léon, playing a professional killer who teaches his 12-year-old neighbor Matilda his trade so she can avenge the deaths of her loved ones. Matilda was played by a young Natalie Portman. According to the actor, he decided to play Léon as somewhat intellectually challenged and emotionally suppressed to show the audience that his character could not exploit the trust of a helpless little girl for selfish purposes. Mel Gibson and Keanu Reeves both wanted to play this role. But Luc Besson wrote the script specifically for Jean Reno and saw only him in the lead role. The film was a resounding success and became a cult classic. Jean was nominated for a César for his role as the lonely killer, and most film critics agree that this is his best work. The film brought the actor immense popularity and throngs of admirers eager for a relationship with the celebrity. However, he managed to fall in love with someone who had never even heard of him. One day, while walking along the Champs-Élysées, Jean saw a beautiful girl who turned out to be Polish model Natalia Dyskiewicz. He followed her to introduce himself, but she only looked at him in surprise. He then asked if she would like to have coffee with him. Rumors circulated in the media that his previous marriage ended because of his new love, Natalia. However, the actor insists he never cheated on any of his women. In 1995, Jean and Natalia married. A year later, his wife gave birth to their son Tom, and 2 years after that, their daughter Serena. Serena followed in her mother's footsteps and is now building a modeling career. Their son, however, developed a passion for writing poetry. Meanwhile, Reno starred in films such as French Kiss, Beyond the Clouds, Les Truffes, Jaguar, and Mission Impossible, in which he played secret agent Franz Krieger. This film marked his first Hollywood role, and his debut was undeniably successful. American audiences loved Jean Reno, and the film remains a favorite to this day. Around the same time, Luc Besson wrote the script for the action film The Fifth Element specifically for Reno, but the producers insisted that Bruce Willis play the lead role. Instead of participating in this project, Jean starred in Magic Love, The Sisters of Soleil, and A Place on Earth. In 1998, Reno appeared as a former French intelligence agent in the thriller Ronin, where his co-star was Robert De Niro. This film is considered one of Reno's best works. He also starred in the comedy The Visitors 2, The Corridors of Time with a fee of 10 million francs, equivalent to over 1.5 million euros, and in the fantasy action film Godzilla, where he had the opportunity to play a good guy saving the world from a monster, a role he handled brilliantly. Interestingly, the actor is a big fan of Elvis Presley, which is why he imitated his singing in the film. During this period, the Frenchman was offered the role of Agent Smith in The Matrix, but he preferred the Godzilla project. Later, he was invited to appear in the sequel to The Matrix, but he declined again, despite the film's enormous popularity. He explained his refusal by saying he did not feel connected to the character. Notably, another major project Reno later turned down was Quentin Tarantino's *Inglourious Bastard*. In 2000, the actor played the lead role in the thriller *Crimson Rivers*, for which he was nominated for the European Film Academy's Audience Award for Best Actor. However, as he admitted, filming this movie was challenging, as the crew had to work at high altitudes in glaciers. In 2001, Reno starred in the comedy The Visitors in America, a remake of the beloved French film The Visitors. This time, the characters, a count and his squire, traveled from the Middle Ages to modern-day America. That same year, the crime action film Wasabi was released, in which Reno played French policeman Hubert. Around the same time, he divorced his second wife. The reason was simple: their feelings had faded, and he believed it was wrong to maintain a marriage without love. In 2002, Jean starred in the action film Rollerball and the melodrama Love Story. The following year, he appeared in the comedy Ruby and Quentin, where his co-star was Gerard Depardieu. Around the same time, the Japanese video game company Capcom offered the actor the role of a character named Jacques Blanc, who was given Reno's facial expressions and movements, captured using special sensors. Jean also voiced the French version of the game. His filmography then expanded with films such as Crimson Rivers 2, Angels of the Apocalypse, Empire of the Wolves with a fee of €1.4 million, Tiger and Snow, and The Corsican File, with a fee of €2.2 million. To master the special Corsican accent, he spent a lot of time on the island, imitating the pronunciation of the locals. In 2006, Jean voiced a character in the animated film Flushed Away, and starred in The Pink Panther, Fly Boys, The Singer, and The Da Vinci Code, in which he played a police commissioner. Interestingly, author Dan Brown wrote the character with Jean Reno in mind. The novel The Da Vinci Code and its film adaptation faced criticism from the Vatican, but as the actors later admitted, they never discussed religious topics during filming. Amusingly, rumors circulated that French President Jacques Chirac had personally requested Reno for the role in The Da Vinci Code. They are good friends and laughed a lot about this journalistic fabrication. That same year, Reno married for the third time. His chosen partner was Romanian model and actress Sofia Baraca, who is 24 years his junior. They met a few years earlier in New York. The couple had a lavish wedding in the town of Le Busset in southern France. Many celebrities attended the event, including Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, Elton John, Monica Bellucci, and others. The groom's best men were his close friends, Nicolas Sarkozy, then France's Minister of the Interior, and rock singer Johnny Hallyday. The mayor of the town, Gerard Juff, a close friend of Jean's, officiated the ceremony. In this marriage, the couple had two sons, Cielo and Dean. Unlike Reno's older children, the boys are still enjoying their childhood and have not yet decided on their careers. Meanwhile, for his role in the crime comedy The Crimson Rivers, the actor earned €1.8 million, and the action film The Last Hour brought him €2.1 million. He also starred in The Pink Panther 2, Love Potion, Armored, and The Philosopher. He earned €550,000 each for his roles in the historical drama about the Holocaust, The Roundup, and the action film 22 Bullets, in which he played a French godfather seeking revenge on his enemies. The film was well received by audiences and became a global hit in 2011. The drama Margaret and the comedy Papa Without Harm were released. The following year, Reno played an experienced chef in the film The Chef. Interestingly, most of the extras in the film were real chefs, as the director decided it would be easier than teaching actors the proper kitchen manners. In real life, Reno loves to cook and often hosts dinner parties for his friends. His guests particularly praise his signature potato soup. Incidentally, Reno's favorite phrase is "Let's go eat." Around the same time, he voiced a character in the animated film The Magic Forest, and starred in the action film Alex Cross, and the sports comedy Dream Team. The following year, he appeared in the detective series Joe as a tough detective. The project had low ratings and was not renewed for a second season.
In 2014, Reno starrt in the drama Day and Night and the comedies Hector and the Search for Happiness, Re Taxi, and Holiday in Provence.
Incidentally, Jean admits that he never improvises on set and always memorizes the script. Once he decided to experiment and did not memorize the text, but the improvisation did not go well. The actor became nervous and has not taken such risks since then. His filmography then expanded with films such as The Wind Brothers, Anti-Gang, The Visitors, Bastille Day, The Last Face, The Promise, Family Heist, The Adventurers, and The Girl in the Fog, in which he played psychiatrist August Flores. This film was well received by audiences. The video camera he always carries with him is a form of protection, a way to secretly observe an unknown and hostile world.
In 2019, the actor starred in the drama For Bags, the adventure film Paulina and the Mystery of the Film Studio, and the action film Legacy of Blood.
The following year, Jean appeared in the series 10% and the war drama Five Blood Brothers, for which he and his co-stars were nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. He also starred in 10 episodes of the comedy series Call My Agent, and later in the action-comedy film of the same name.
Little White Lies, the comedy I Love Your Hair, the historical drama Waiting for Anya, the fantasy drama The Last Day on Earth, and the action film City of Lies.
In 2021, Reno starred in the drama The Promise, and the following year, he appeared in the series Everything We Never Said, Who Killed Sarah, and Private Affair. Currently, our hero continues to actively act in films. The filming of The Penguin and the Fisherman and The Elevator by Netflix has already been completed. Additionally, the films The Savior of Paris and Bird's Eye are in production, and according to some reports, Jean Reno may appear alongside Vincent Cassel in the horror film Fantomas in the future. The actor has never forgotten his passion for theater and has participated in numerous theatrical productions throughout his career. He admits that he still dreams of playing Othello, King Lear, and Falstaff. It is known that in his free time, Reno writes plays, and once he even directed a production at an opera theater. Today, the celebrity's net worth is estimated at $70 million, earned not only from film fees but also from advertising contracts. Over the years, Jean has appeared in commercials for logistics company UPS, media company Sky, the drink Pocari Sweat, and automobiles Toyota, Honda, and Bentley. Incidentally, he owns a Bentley and currently drives it. Together with his family, Reno lives in France in the quiet town of Le Busset, where he became deputy mayor in 2020. He has lived in this town for over 30 years and does not hide the fact that he wants to be buried there. Incidentally, due to the passing of many of his colleagues, Jean often reflects on his approaching old age. According to some reports, the celebrity also owns an apartment in Paris, homes in Los Angeles and Malaysia. In his free time from filming, the actor spends time with his family. They travel a lot but also enjoy spending time at their estate. The man enjoys gardening with exotic plants and even produces olive oil. He enjoys the simple life and considers the main disadvantage of his profession to be the inability to be an ordinary person, to visit his favorite bakery, buy newspapers at the local shop, and more. Jean takes care of his health and exercises daily. It is also known that he has been suffering from type 2 diabetes for about 20 years. Incidentally, Reno has a talismane simple metal plate given to him by his current wife.
It bears the words, "Good always triumphs over evil."
The celebrity pays special attention to charity, helping to build a medical center in Paris for brain disease research. Despite playing mostly tough guys or hooligans in films, in real life, the man has never been in a fight. In general, Reno admits that he is very sentimental and often cries while watching emotional films. He is also a big football fan and has long supported Inter Milan.